Hi everyone, today we're just going to go over a quick video about how the VLOOKUP formula works in Excel. So the VLOOKUP formula is pretty useful when you're doing accounting and comparing lists and things like that. Needed a lot. So just want to go over it real quick. I have an example here of an active employee list and information from our last payroll. And so what we're going to do is compare these two lists and make sure that we have all the information on each of the lists. So as you can see here, this list here has goes down to the 25 rows, and this list here goes down to 26 rows. So there's a difference in the lists, so we need to figure out why that is. So you could either manually go through and check each one of these off against the other list and vice versa, or you can do an easy VLOOKUP to figure out what your differences are. So to do the VLOOKUP formula, what you want to do, and I've seen some other videos that are a little bit more formal than this using the function toolbox and things like that, but this is a really quick way to do it once you get used to it. So all you do is type in VLOOKUP, parentheses, and then you just type in, or you put in what your first piece of information is, so the lookup value. So this is the value that it's going to look up and compare. So it's going to look up this list and compare it to the information in this list. And it needs to be a consistent between both lists in order for it to work properly. So in this case, we're going to use the employee number because that's consistent between both lists. So go ahead and select that. And then the next piece is the table array. So what the table array is it's telling the formula what information you want it to look to. So we're going to compare this list to that list, and we're going to take this information right here and make sure that what we're looking up is on this list. And just a real quick tip here, how we have the formula I2 through M26. What you want to do is push F4, and it puts these dollar signs in there on the formula, and what that does is it locks those numbers in place, so that if we want to drag our formula down to other cells, it'll keep those numbers the same. And then the next piece is the column index. So what the column index is it's there's a number of columns in the information that we're looking up in the table. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, and what I want it to return on this VLOOKUP is the amount that was paid to each employee. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 5 in there. And then the next piece of the formula is either true or false. So true will give you an approximate match. So what it does is it looks up this 732,874 in this information here, and if it doesn't find an exact match, it'll return something close to it. So I don't really recommend using true for this formula. It kind of creates some problems sometimes. So I'm going to go ahead and select false. And what false is it's an exact match. So if it doesn't find an exact match, it won't return anything. So now the VLOOKUP formula is complete. All you got to do is push enter. So that you can see the first person here, Eric Metcalf, was paid $2,126.38, and on this list that shows up right here. So the next step is to go ahead and drag all these down, and it looks up all these employees on this list. So you'll see here that there's an NA for Larry Bird. So basically what that means is that Larry Bird doesn't show up on this list, or in this case, he didn't receive a paycheck. So what you want to do in real life is you go make sure that Larry Bird gets a paycheck, and then once he gets added to the list, his information would show up here. Put a random number in here. We'll put 4,000. Okay, so you can see here it's still an A, and let me show you why that is. So on our list, we selected through M26, which is here, but we added this in 27. So what you want to do is always want to make sure that your table encompasses all of the information. And once the formula is corrected, then it comes in correctly. So now we've looked to make sure that all of our active employees received paychecks, but we still have a difference here of 2 people for some reason. And so to figure that out, what we want to do is we want to do a VLOOKUP from this information and look it up in this table to see what's in here that's not in there. So to do that, we can just do a VLOOKUP on this table. Look up the employee number, select our table that we want it to look to, push F4 to lock those in place, and then in this case I'm going to select the status column. It shows active, so that's 1, 2, 3 columns. Put in 3, type false, and so you can see that Eric Metcalf is an active employee. So then the next step is to just pull this down all the way, and it shows all the active employees until you get to Rod Woodson and Tom Brady. So what that means is that Rod Woodson and Tom Brady received paychecks, but they're not on the active employees list. So in a real life situation, you would want to make sure that you didn't pay these people that weren't supposed to be paid. So maybe they need added to the active employees list, or maybe they are going to receive a paycheck that they shouldn't be receiving. So that's pretty much how the VLOOKUP formula works. If you think that was helpful, leave us a comment in the comment section, subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for additional information, things that you have questions about with Excel, leave something in the comment section. I take a look at the comments, make sure that everybody's questions are getting answered. Maybe I'll make a video about it. Check us out at accountingexcel.com, and we'll see you all next time.